People so many times they think they celebritize being an entrepreneur, and they think, hey, I should just go make money. It's really easy. Take the time to do the work and do the hard things.
Hey, if you like this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification so you know when I come out with a new video. Hi, everybody. My name is Richard L'Esperance, and I go by the name of My Man Richard. Welcome to A Better Lifestyle. Today's topic, we're going to talk about making money online. And I have the pleasure to have Don Markland with me. And he is a sales and growth expert. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting because sometimes people want to have a side hustle and they're trying to figure out how the whole online business thing works. So yeah. So Don, please give a brief resume of who you are, let's say in 2 minutes, and we'll get started.
Hey, thank you so much, Richard, for letting me be on your podcast. And I am an award-winning business coach. In fact, my company, Accountability Now, we were just named top 5 management consultant company by Inc.'s Best in Business in the United States. We're an award-winning business consulting group by Numi.com. We were actually named top business coach group in Florida. So excited to be a part of this. And I love what you do with your group and the voice you provide people for making money online, for entrepreneurs. And, I think about when I started my first business, nearly 10 years ago. God, I would have loved to have had a podcast to listen to. We had to just ask people, what mistakes should we be making, and what things can we didn't have podcasts 10 years ago to listen to. And so thank you for having this vehicle and this voice that we can learn from and provide from. I really, really appreciate it.
No problem. So if someone wants to get started on making money online, where would they start?
The first thing is they'd listen to your podcast, right? And they'd listen to some other podcasts out there. You do your research, okay? Listen and learn. People so many times they think they celebritize being an entrepreneur, and they think, hey, I should just go make money. It's really easy. Take the time to do the work and do the hard things. One of my favorite stories or quotes is this thing from the athlete Michael Phelps. And you'll know who Michael Phelps is. He's the athlete, the Olympian who won all of these gold medals for the United States in swimming. And he talks about how he would train 7 days a week for 5 years in order to win gold medals. And so many times people forget, in order to make money online, you have to be willing to do the little things and the hard things every single day in order to be successful. And people think they see Gary Vee online, or they see all these people and they think, oh, it's so easy to make money online. I should just, get an Amazon store, or that I should just do these things and I can be successful. And you have to be willing to do all the hard things every day for a long time in order to be successful. And if you're unwilling to do the hard things every day for a long period of time, you're not willing to be successful. And so you have to do the hard things. And that starts with the research and study and discipline in the beginning in order to be successful later. So that's what I would do. I'd listen to your podcast. I'd binge it. I'd be obsessed with it. And then you're telling yourself, I'm willing to be successful later on.
So if someone wants to sell a product or offer a service, so what would you say to them?
First of all, I think that's great. And I would also tell them, no one's going to care about your passion. Okay, that's the first thing. Check your passion at the door. Your customers will not care how passionate you are. I work with clients all over the world, and I tell them, your clients, the first thing I ask when I engage with a client is, why are you doing this? And you cannot say because it's your calling. You cannot say because you're passionate about it, because no one cares how passionate you are. No one cares, because that's like table stakes. Okay, your passion will not make it so you're successful. because there is not a business owner out there that's successful that is not passionate. Like you have, I mean, that is what it is. You have to be good. You have to be successful. You have to do all the hard things. Passion won't make you successful. It's all the other things. So passion can't be why you're doing it. You have to have all these other things. You have to study. You have to learn. You have to do all these other little things to be successful.
So what are some marketing tips that you could give maybe for someone who wants to make money online?
So the biggest marketing tip that you can learn is, and this is a quote from a guy named Russell Brunson. He's the CEO of a company called ClickFunnels, is there are riches in the niches. Don't try to do everything. I want you to be the biggest fish in the smallest pond. So if you're trying to find a product or a service, niche down the smallest that you can. If you're selling journals, don't sell leather journals. Sell leather journals to certain types of CEOs, right? I sell leather journals to CEOs in the tech industry in Western Africa, right? Like get really, really niched, because if you're the biggest fish in the smallest pond, you will be successful. For example, when I started my business, I started as a business coach and I failed. But it wasn't until I became a sales coach for businesses under 5 million that needed coaching in sales and marketing that I started to get traction. So I shrunk way down. I did business coaching for companies under 5 million that needed coaching for sales and marketing. And I said, I don't do leadership coaching, training, or leadership development, team building. I don't do any of that. But now of my 58 clients, almost half of them, in fact, 36 of them, we do team building, leadership development, executive coaching, all the things that I say we don't do, because I niched down first. So that's what I would tell all of your clients listening about making money online or doing a service or a product. Niche down tight, really, really small, and then you'll start to expand.
Can you, I think we might have some time. Can you explain just a little bit, just the basics of, because some people are probably going to be new to online business. Can you explain a little bit what is a sales funnel?
Yeah, a sales funnel is different than a website. Okay, a website is a digital property that it's like a billboard that could explain a lot about what you do. A sales funnel is like a single, almost like a landing page, and it looks like a funnel where it leads them to one specific call to action. So you're leading them there from either advertising or from organic movement or from email marketing, and it goes to the top of the funnel, meaning they enter in at the very beginning of the landing page, and all of the copy and all the content on that landing page is leading them to do one specific thing on the page. And that would be like to opt in, to like enter your email list, or if it's a sales funnel, it might be to purchase something, like to buy or to subscribe into your membership copy, or to do any number of things. And so a sales funnel, it's very important if you're a service or if you're selling a product or you're an e-com business, all of your marketing efforts are leading people into your sales funnel, which is your copy that leads them to buy. And too many times we build these big fancy web pages where it's confusing. They could do all these numbers of things that distract your customers from buying your specific product. And that's not what we want them to do. We want them to do one thing: make the buying process really, really simple. You don't want them to buy all your products. You want them to buy one product. And then over time, you'll remarket them to buy everything else.
What would be the starting costs like to start an online business online?
The cost can vary, right? ClickFunnels is probably the Lamborghini of a funnel software, and that can be as low as $97 a month up to $297 a month if you're using the premium product. But then there's all other varying types of funnel softwares that are their competitors, which are as low as $47 a month up to like $297 for a lifetime access. and they all have varying levels of quality. And so if I was a brand new person starting, I would use a service like Get Response or Constant Contact or something, which gave me kind of a suite of access, which gave me email marketing and gave me some basic funnels, which would allow me at a very low cost to have my funnel page, have my sales funnel, gave me some email response and email marketing. And I wouldn't have to break the bank. I wouldn't be spending like $300 a month or something like that. That way I would be spending very little. I could get my email marketing out and have my funnel page up. And then I could spend a little bit of money running ads and be able to sell a little bit. And that's something I want to make sure your listeners know, that selling online is only as valuable as the traffic that you have going to your sales funnel. You know, building a funnel is one thing, but it's only as valuable as the traffic you have going there. You know, people will spend all this time and effort building the most beautiful funnel page, but if you don't have traffic going there, nobody's going to buy. You can have the most beautiful billboard in the world, but if it's in the desert and there's no roads going to it, nobody's going to buy. So you have to make sure the right traffic is going there. So if you have your product on an Amazon store, you need to make sure you do the time to either bid on the right keywords on Amazon, get the right ads, do the right Amazon SEO, all those things to make sure the right people see your product in order to buy.
Okay. When I was speaking about starting the business online, it was not like the price for the sales funnel. It was just like general business, like someone has a business idea and they want to start a business. How much like would you think the budget like to start an online business?
To start an online business, like licensing and things like that, right? To get a business license, it's going to be a couple $100, right? Because you have to get a bank account, you have to get licensing. And so that's not very much, just a couple $100, right? But so it's relatively cheap. The biggest thing is, and this is where it's important to start a business, is don't get hung up on all of the, I need to get a web presence, I need to get all those things. Anybody can start a business and you can do it for so cheap. Start with the mindset of, I need to go get sales. Start with just how quickly can I get acquisitions? How quickly can I sell? Right? How quickly can I get online? So if you're wanting to sell an online product, right? How can I get an online product? I would start today. I would put that online product on eBay. I'd put it on somewhere and start to try to get sales and get traction and do it as cheaply as possible before I go get a website up, before I go invest all this money and see, can I get traction first before I start throwing money into it? And then you're going to learn really quickly, hey, do I have a product? Do I have something that can generate?
What are the mistakes you see people do when they want to start a business online?
The biggest mistake I see is they spend all of this money first making pretty pictures, making pretty websites. They spend all of this money on things that don't matter. In fact, earlier today, I was meeting with a coach. They spent all of this money on this fancy website, and they didn't even have a client yet. I saw a coach that spent all this money on branding, on their social media, on their logo, and they had yet to sign a single client. And I told them, none of that even matters. Nobody's even going to your website. What are you doing? I would spend all of your effort in the first 3 months finding clients, right? Don't spend any money on your website, on your logo, on your social media, because I promise nobody's looking at it. Just go find clients. Just go get some acquisitions. You don't need any of that stuff. You think you do, but that's your mindset being an imposter. You think it matters. It doesn't. Just go sell. And when you sell and get some cash flow into the business, then you can go get that stuff.
So what would be the main advice for someone who wants to get started online, or wants to start an online business?
If you want to start an online business, like I said, start with research. Like, I mean it. Listen to Richard's podcast, and that's not because I'm on here. Go do the research, right? And this isn't just because I am a coach. Go find a mentor. Go find a coach. And this is an important part of having a coach. You have to pay for coaching. right? People go try to find free coaches and they go try to find free advice. The principle of having a coach is you have to invest time, energy, and money. Otherwise, there is no accountability. If you have people that you're seeking advice from for free, you won't take it seriously. There's enough studies out there that prove that. If you're investing in coaching, you will listen to the advice, you will take it seriously, and you'll move. I changed my life when I started to pay for coaching. And everything changed. My whole business changed when I invested in it. And so if somebody's serious about, I'm going to go all in and build a business, go hire a coach, go listen to your podcast, and really take it serious. When they start to do that, you watch, their whole life will change.
Talk to us. This will be the final question. Talk to us about the 4 C's.
The 4 C's of Accountability is my book. I wrote it when I was a corporate guy for a long time, and I thought I was never going to be an entrepreneur. And then I found myself, I was 60 pounds overweight, working 70 hours a week for somebody else. And I realized I was not happy and I was struggling. And so I came up with this personal mantra just for myself to try to make my life better. And it was the 4 C's of accountability. And when I wrote it, my whole life started to improve. And the 4 C's are, it first starts with 2 overarching principles, which is accountability always starts with me. I have to look at myself first to try to improve. And then secondly, there's no egos with accountability, right? Anybody can hold me accountable. And then the 4 C's are critique success, correct failure, celebrate growth, and crush mediocrity. Those are the 4 C's. And as I lived those, my whole life got better. I lost all my weight. I started to work less and my business started to grow. And it was incredible how my life changed. And then as my wife went through cancer, that got us through my wife's cancer. We left that company. I started a business and that business thrived. We later moved to Florida where we live now. And I worked with Amazon and then I joined another business, which we grew to 89 million, which we sold. And all these things started to thrive because we lived the 4 C's. And that's why this business we have now, which is called Accountability Now, which is based on the 4 C's, right? Which has continued to thrive, which just reached $1 million this year. And all of it's based on the 4 C's. And it's been just fantastic. And that's kind of what we live our life and our practice by.
Can you briefly elaborate the 4 C's?
Yeah, the 2 rules of it, right, is where accountability starts with me. So you always have to look at yourself. That I can't ever walk into a room and say, hey, it's your fault. I always have to take accountability for everything. If there's a hurricane in Florida, which we get a lot, I have to always say, how could I have prepared better for it, right? Always start with myself. The second rule is accountability. Always, anybody can hold me accountable. So for example, like in the US, there's a sport, baseball, right? If somebody throws a pitch and I swing and I miss, that's a strike. And it doesn't matter if the umpire calls it a strike or an opposing player calls it a strike or a fan in the stands calls it a strike, right? It's always a strike. And so many times in our life, we spend so much energy whining and complaining that other people called us out and say, hey, why did you say I screwed up? You're not perfect, right? And we complain that other people were hypocrites. But the rule is, hey, so what if they're a hypocrite? Of course they're a hypocrite. They're not perfect, but you still missed. And that's what that rule is anybody can hold you accountable. Doesn't matter. Get over your ego. Just take the shot and just grip it again and swing. Okay. And that's what the second thing is. Now, the first C, though, itself is always try to critique success. So whenever you do something well, when Richard does great, when he's a great podcast, before you pat yourself on the back, correct it. How can you critique your success and make it better? How can you stop and analyze it and say, wait a minute, how can I do this better? So many times we just want to pound on ourselves when we screw up, but we will learn more if we just analyze our successes and try to duplicate those. we want to always associate accountability with our mistakes and turn it negative, right? Like hold them accountable. But I think you should be held just as accountable when you nail it, right? Accountability should be freaking awesome. So that's why we critique success. The second one is correct failure. We don't punish mistakes in my business and with my clients. We reward them. When you make a mistake, we celebrate. We're like, awesome, great mistake. How can we correct it now? Right? Good job making a mistake. Where was the mistake at? Let's correct it and let's roll forward. The third C is we celebrate growth. The hardest thing in this life is growth, right? Putting more weight on the bar, doing hard things. So when you do hard things, we celebrate growth. And the fourth thing is we crush mediocrity. Here in Florida, we have huge bugs, big, nasty cockroaches. And when we see a cockroach here in Florida, we crush it with a big shoe because we know if we just lightly tap it, its buddies come running back and they come back in droves. And so we crush them. And that's what I want you to do with mediocrity in your life. I want you to crush it with everything you've got. And that's how we treat mediocrity. When you see it, you got to just crush it with everything you have. And those are the 4 C's. And that's what my book's about. And that's what we teach in our coaching practice, how to live those.
Where can people find you on social media or the internet?
You can go to my website, donmarkland.com. It's really easy. And then we have a really active Instagram, executivecoach.don. We've got about 180,000 followers on Instagram. Lots of people follow us, engage with us on there. And we also have, we do a lot of things in life coaching. So anybody that is trying to seek for better coaching or wants one-on-one coaching, for every one of your listeners, every one of your listeners that wants it, we'll work with them. If they come on to our website, the 4 C's of accountability, we'll make sure they get access to our award-winning coaching platform. We'll make sure they get that for free. If they'll come on there and mention your podcast, we'll make sure all of them get our entire award-winning. We have a whole life coaching program that's online. They'll all get that for free.
Great. So you guys heard it. You guys heard it from the man himself, Don Markland. So any last words you want to say regarding to everything we've talked about?
Your listeners have got to know, if they want to start an online business, they want to make money online, they have to be the one to do it. They got to be the one to do the work. They've got to put their mind to it. It isn't going to give it to them. They've got to be the one. And if they're willing to, they put it in, they'll make it happen.
Thanks for watching. If there's certain topics you want me to touch, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to make it happen. And if you like this video, please press the like button and comment. It would be very appreciated. Thanks.